Joshua Murray was only 37 years old when his life suddenly came to an end. For the people who knew him, the news came as a complete shock. No one expected something like this to happen. But as investigators started looking more closely at Joshua's final days, they realized there was much more to this story than anyone had imagined. One clue led to another, and before long, detectives found themselves investigating something far different than what they had originally expected. The deeper they looked, the more unusual the case became. Eventually, their investigation pointed them toward the person who knew Joshua better than almost anyone else: his wife, Amy Murray. She worked as a nurse at a Missouri correctional center. To the people around her, she appeared to be living an ordinary life. Nothing about her suggested she would soon become the focus of a murder investigation. But detectives believed there was a side of Amy's life that almost nobody knew about. And once they uncovered it, everything changed. As detectives continued interviewing friends, family members, and coworkers, they slowly began putting together a timeline of Joshua's final days. On the surface, everything appeared normal. Joshua was working, he was spending time with family, and nothing suggested his life was about to take such a tragic turn. But behind the scenes, investigators believed something very different was happening. The more they learned about Amy's personal life, the more questions they had. There were conversations, relationships, and decisions that didn't seem to fit the image people had of her. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to subscribe. I cover real true crime cases from across the United States every week. As the investigation moved forward, detectives ordered a full autopsy. That's when the case took an unexpected turn. According to investigators, Joshua hadn't died because of the fire alone. The medical examiner discovered something inside his body that immediately changed the direction of the investigation. It was ethylene glycol, a toxic chemical commonly found in antifreeze. Authorities now believe Joshua had been poisoned before the fire ever started. What initially looked like a tragic accident had suddenly become a homicide investigation. During the investigation, they uncovered evidence that she had developed a relationship with an inmate named Eugene Claypool. Claypool wasn't just another inmate. He was serving time for murder. Investigators later reviewed phone calls, messages, and other evidence that prosecutors argued showed the relationship had become far more serious than anyone realized. According to prosecutors, Amy wanted a future with Claypool. But there was one obvious problem. She was still married. Detectives believed they had found the motive behind Joshua's death. As the evidence continued to grow, investigators concluded that Joshua had first been poisoned. Then, according to prosecutors, the fire was intentionally started in an attempt to hide what had happened. Instead of destroying the evidence, investigators believed the fire actually exposed the crime. Amy Murray was eventually arrested and charged with second-degree murder, arson, and tampering with physical evidence. The case remained in the court system for several years. Then, in June 2025, Amy made a decision that meant there would never be a trial. She entered an Alford plea. That meant she continued to maintain her innocence while acknowledging that prosecutors had enough evidence for a jury to convict her. The court accepted the plea. Amy Murray was convicted of second-degree murder and the related charges. She was sentenced to 12 years in prison. For Joshua Murray's family, it finally brought years of uncertainty to an end. What began as a heartbreaking tragedy ended with a murder conviction, and it serves as another reminder that some of the most disturbing cases aren't committed by strangers. They're committed by the people we trust the most.